Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your personalized reading for the week of April 25th to May 1st, 2022. This is a general reading, so take whatever resonates and leave behind for others what does not. To get a deeper view into your week, be sure to check out your readings for sun, moon, and rising signs. So, we have here in this first row, we're going to be looking at the energy you're leaving. And this card says rejection. We're going to pull some tarot cards to get specifics and clarify as well. In terms of this middle row, we're going to be looking at the core vibe of the week. And you have here the fates. So this card is kind of like a card that really says, things might not really go your way. There's that serendipity prayer. God grant me the serenity, not serendipity, the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And that's what this card is about, is really accepting things you can't change and changing what, is not for your best and highest good. And then here in this last row here, we're going to be looking at messages from your future self. View from above. Get the big picture. So this is kind of telling you not to get lost in certain details, in your idea of, what you expect or should have, and really kind of see that there is, more going on, more outside of your control, and not to kind of get bogged down by certain details. So let's get some context for these. For the rejection, the energy you're leaving, you have Two of Cups, Seven of Swords, Ace of Pentacles. And in terms of the current vibe, the fates, you have Three of Wands, everything is fine, which is the Ten of Swords, and the Ten of Cups. And the message from your future self, get the big picture, you have Two of Wands, Two of Pentacles, let me move these down, and the Fool. The Fool has been popping up in a decent amount of these readings for the week. Okay, so let's see what we have here in terms of the energy you're leaving behind, the rejection. Okay, so it's Two of Cups is relationships, could be friendships, could be romantic relationships, business relationships. Seven of Swords is typically liar, stealer, cheater. Sometimes it's something else like imposter syndrome or having a very unique plan to maneuver through things. With the rejection and the Two of Cups, it is seeming more like, someone was doing something that possibly was brought to light, and there was a new sense of, a new value. Maybe someone started a different relationship, maybe they started a new job, something along those lines. So we're going to clarify that. But in terms of the core vibe this week, this with the fates, you have the Three of Wands with this, you got the Ten of Swords here, which is, if you're going to need that serenity prayer, definitely It's when you got this Ten of Swords sticking out of this body. And then you have the Ten of Cups, which is basically, you know, having happiness. It's kind of seen as fortune after times of difficulty. And you go from like recognizing that there's the 10 cups and the same, you know, reading with this, everything is fine, 10 of swords. So it seems like this week is really kind of trying to look at this bigger picture, trying to see beyond what you know, what you're used to, and trying to expand out. Um, so here it's really taking some, you know, focus, some faith to overcome this situation. Ten of Swords is typically, you know, there's no coming back from that. Or whatever this led to this, if it is this kind of this relationship, something was hidden. Some perhaps you trusted someone and they, you know, they betrayed you and you ended up with, you know, 10 swords in you. So here, it's really, you have a lot of inner strength, or you're going to have to tap into your inner strength, the energy here in the Three of Wands, to create something out, you know, something positive out of this experience. This is a learning experience for sure. And with the view from above, the get the big picture, you have Two of Wands. So here in both of these, in this, you know, core vibe of the week and in the message from your future self, you've got these, you know, people here looking out at doing something different, getting outside of their comfort zone, networking with other people, you know, getting a new groove on. So basically, there's a lot of negotiating. This Two of Pentacles here, kind of trying to negotiate your wants, your needs, also like trying to, you know, juggle your emotions. And here with the Fool, it seems like, you know, your future self is saying like, whatever you choose, the bigger picture here is related to you actually taking a risk and being open to an experience and trusting yourself to experience all those emotions that go along with it, even though you may have been betrayed here. So this is like a huge like learning experience for you. One thing to note about the Ten of Cups as well is it's not necessarily this idea that you're gonna, you know, go from being, you know, where everything's just done, hitting rock bottom, and then just being super happy all the time. Ten of Cups is more about being able to experience all the different emotions that are represented in the different colors of the rainbow, where these 10 cups are kind of kicking it. So, you know, the best way to get centered is to be able to manage your different emotions, to be able to acknowledge certain emotions, experience it, not dwell in it. If it's something that's, you know, brings you down, and really try to grab onto the positive emotions for as long as you can. And really, it's like, you know, in this Two of Pentacles, really negotiating your emotions, negotiating your environment to be able to flow. And I would say, you know, definitely it's difficult after a situation where there's a betrayal of trust. Um, and even if by chance, Virgo, you're the one that betrayed a trust, it still is going to affect you. You're still going to, you know, um, maybe not right now, maybe not then, but it does affect you. It'll maybe hit you in the middle of the night. And if this is someone else, it's gonna affect them too. Maybe once they learn something about seeing the bigger picture of things. Um, but what happens in the present moment, you have certain emotions um, that you experience, but it doesn't stop there. And you have your recall of things that happen, and there's almost a new sense of emotions that go along with it. And the Ten of Cups is really just about being able to negotiate your emotions and come back to a place where you have, um, you know, the serenity to accept what you can't change, courage to change what you can, and wisdom to know what is not worth stressing over, not worth trying again, especially when it's over and done. So let's get some clarification on this rejection here. Seven of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, Ten of Wands. Okay, so it does seem like this is some type of romantic relationship. You have the Knight of Cups is clarifying the Seven of Swords. Somebody made an offer that maybe they were making an offer of romance, dating, that wasn't everything it was presented as. Here with this Two of Cups, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Here is kind of not getting the outcome you were expecting or hoping for. And I think the question with the Seven of Pentacles is usually like, are you willing to invest more, especially when you don't know how things are going to turn out? But if you're investing from the heart, truly from the heart, then you don't have certain expectations other than you're going to do your best at each moment, and you're going to want to be the best person you can be, and that maybe that they will be the best person they can be, and maybe they were the best person they could be, and it still involved not being totally upfront. And then you have with the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Ten of Wands. So it's almost as if, like, once it was realized that this person wasn't really being upfront, that there was some type of maybe a new understanding of the relationship, maybe an open relationship, because Ten of Wands is like really taking on a heavy burden and not even seeing ahead what's going on. So that might be one concept of this Ace of Pentacles for some of you. And for others, it was just like, hey, this other person is going to do something new, maybe pursue a different relationship. And really, this is something where it was just like kind of weighed heavy on you energetically, like you kind of recognizing this. And then in terms of dealing with this, it's kind of gone from Wands to you kind of recognizing the full weight of it and a betrayal of your trust here. So let's take a look at the everything is fine, 10 of Swords, because this is about seeing like the new dawn ahead. And you have the 10 of Pentacles. So it seems that, you know, even from this position of being on the ground, you're able to see that you have a lot of people that care about you surrounding you. You have, you know, you're taken care of in terms of, you know, finances. Maybe this is even just for some of you, maybe you decided to put your energy in, you know, this situation to refocus on a job, a business venture, something to keep your mind off of what was going on and kind of focusing your energy on that. But ultimately, you know, you had to kind of say that's done. And this is that week for it. But you have a lot of support if you ask for it. And let's take a look at the 10 of Cups. You have the 4 of Wands. So definitely, you know, a celebration of some type of milestone, perhaps some type of, you know, holiday. We have Mother's Day coming up. Maybe someone's kind of graduation. There's something where you're going to be surrounded by friends and family that are going to kind of remind you that you are a strong individual and you don't need to focus on this past experience. There's a whole life ahead of you. So let's take a look at the 3 of Wands. You have the Empress. This is all about, you know, creating. This is all about love and being a source of abundance, looking at life from a place of I can have what I want in, you know, around me in terms of the things I create, materials, things I value, the people I love. This is pretty much a great transition from rejection to acceptance of you have almost like looking at the potential as opposed to looking at what was done from a sense of, you know, hurt or being wounded, but like what you can do to grow even more in the ways that you want to grow. That's a great, you know, 10 of Swords, that's a crap card to have, but all these other cards surrounding it just are really great energy. And Virgo, you're not alone. You have support and you have people that love you. Really, you might feel a little vulnerable, but tap into that. Tap into your senses. Get back in touch with your body sensations, things that make you feel good, things that make you feel. So maybe you do need to kind of deal with the negative emotions of this situation. But I think you know not to live there and that there's more beyond it. And your community, the people that surround you, your imagination, your sense of creativity is going to help you to see beyond that situation and kind of get this view, the view from above, the big picture here. So let's look at the 2 of Wands. You have the 3 of Wands again. So these are really about you being more than what you ever were And it does require you to kind of get outside of your comfort zone. So perhaps whatever, so you have the Two of Pentacles, Two of Wands, you have the Two of Cups, whatever your comfort zone was to create this Two of Cups when you probably weren't even that excited about it. This is a reworking of the sense of self and your sense of your, twos are about balance and duality. So your sense of self and who you want to be, like what you feel from the inside, who you want to kind of, who you want to be, and the type of person that perhaps you think someone else wants you to be, or what you should be. And you're kind of reworking this idea of what you know and what you're willing to accept. And here with the Three of Wands, it's about expanding, growing more, seeing further than the eye can see. And for some of you, you possibly are considering moving. With the Two of Wands, Three of Wands, and the Four of Wands, Three of Wands again, and even like maybe the Ace of Pentacles. I don't know. Maybe this was so like made you even move. You're like, I'm getting out of here. And the Fool. So even here, even this getting the big picture, it's like there's these balloons taking them to different locations. So perhaps some of you will be moving. Let's take a look at the Two of Pentacles. You have the King of Pentacles. Interesting. So here I think it's basically you, this experience, this learning experience, seeing the bigger picture of things is going to have you focus on your abundance. What is it that you want? A sense of security. It's almost like, so here, this King of Pentacles is the younger version of this older King of Pentacles, or this older gentleman here, the Ten of Pentacles. So it's as if the bigger picture is you need to focus on the abundance, the life that you want, the person you want to be, because you really are trying to, that's like the bigger picture. The bigger picture is kind of leaving, there's trails of it here, which is you want to have comforts, physical comforts. You want to be able to provide for yourself. You want to provide for others. You want to be able to, feel confident and really your experience working your way up to this point. I think that's how you're going to see this bigger picture of learning life, who you can trust and who you want to be. So, and the Fool is definitely about trusting yourself, trusting your ability to experience new things. And you have the Emperor. So it's interesting here because the King of Pentacles and the Emperor, they're usually very traditional. They're very much kind of do what needs to be done. They're not really, free flowing people like the Fool. So I think what this is kind of saying, the bigger picture, is ultimately you are, responsible for your own world, your own life. And you are going to be the one, that needs to be in charge of it. And to some degree, you need to set up some healthy boundaries about who you trust, who you're going to like let in and invest your time in. Because when you have boundaries, when you have this idea of you are protected already, you have your own power, then there's not this issue of being afraid to experience something new. So I'm not thinking that this bigger picture is that you have to be, a banker that does things the same way over and over again. It's about how to having the wisdom to navigate and take all the silver lining, take all the lessons that were learned and put it to your benefit and protect the people you care about and primarily yourself as well. So you see here the Knight of Pentacles and the Emperor, they both had these this footwear that is for like knights wear in battle. And so this kind of indicates like these people, they aren't just sitting there because they were born into it. They did the work. They went and, fought whatever fight they needed to get through. Maybe they lost some, they won a lot. But it's definitely what you are seeing, this bigger picture, is that if you focus on what you want, it's okay. It's almost like how you get there is taking risks and going outside of your comfort zone and having, to wear a certain type of protective gear so that you can trust yourself and experience life around you in the moment. So I'm hoping this reading provides a helpful perspective of the week, and we'll see you next time. Take care.